What is up, everyone? This is Nightmare bringing you Hangtime, where we talk NBA Top Shot, the market, fantasy basketball, and all things hoops and hype. An incredibly hype week for us here at Whale, as well as the collective market, NBA, Top Shot. Everything's going on at the same time. So I actually had to push hang time back 1 hour today. I'm living off of a diet of stress eating Sour Patch Kids and downing energy drinks, but we are here and lots of positive things happening. In fact, just prior to going live, I noticed in the auction feed for us that there was a new bid on the POC piece at the Sotheby's auction. So exciting stuff going on all around. And certainly exciting for the NBA with the NBA season now in full swing. We got a few games under most of the team's belts, and Jokic and Ja Morant serving up highlights on a platter for us, for those that enjoy those players, aka myself and a lot of the people in our Whale Top Shot community. Even Jalen Suggs himself is hyped that he can get on NBA Top Shot now that he's in the league. It was cool to see him calling this out, as he was making his debut with the Magic. So very cool stuff. Likewise, it's fall. There's baseball fun that's been had. I had a great Red Sox-Yankees matchup to kind of bridge me into this pumpkin beer season or whatever it is. The World Series is lined up for tomorrow. Braves, Astros, football's going on. So although there are some injuries cropping up, most certainly with my team, and I think a lot of other teams as well, but with Halloween festivities on deck, a super exciting time for everything going on in the greater NFT sphere, as well as NBA Top Shot and the NBA itself. Speaking of Halloween, I think actually Zorro may be putting something together for that particular day, some activity. So don't hold me to it. I think he was experimenting with some things, but we may have some fun stuff to do on the day itself. So what was going on with NBA Top Shot? If we look at the actual market, there was a lot of people capitulating a little bit with regards to their NFT holdings, trying to ride the wave as, news leaked and came out that Wall Street will be able to handle some ETF action on BTC, and this market run up, people want to take part in it. Typical market cycle type stuff. We had actually talked about it in general a little bit. Someone had asked, what's going on with NFTs? Will this recover? And in typical form, when BTC makes a run and ETH usually tags along with it, when it's a large scale market move like that, people will get out of tertiary assets like altcoins, and NFTs in many ways are being treated like altcoins by some people that are speculators involved in it, just so they can ride and maximize the gains that can be achieved by the base currency. And then once that steadies and people feel more confident that the market's in a place where there's not going to be these huge fluctuations, the money then flows back in. So usually after a period of growth like that, people will have more money and more assets to try to invest in. So likewise, anything we see that's a major drop off is short term. I would expect that money to flow back into the NFT market. So back to Top Shot itself, you can see that the market now has dipped back below the $1 billion mark. We had exceeded it here only slightly, but we're still in a very healthy range. I mean, above 900,000 is certainly a far cry from the 500,000 we had seen at the beginning of August, right? If you look at some of the individual metrics, and this is over a 1 month period. If you look at just a 5-day period, it's certainly going to look different. But extrapolate that out, and you can see we're still at these healthy levels, right? So this is the index that Moment Ranks keeps. Likewise, here's the total market cap, right? We had this subtle lift right here, and we've come back down. Hopefully this steadies somewhere around here, and when the market steadies itself, a lot of money flows back in as well. From a transaction volume perspective, we talked about this last week, this huge run up. And then though it has come down, it's still exceeding or near these levels that it was at prior, where things were still considered healthy, and we're at that 900,000 market cap, right? So don't zoom in too much and get scared with this dip. Relative to what's been happening in the greater time period, we are in good shape, okay? And then for sales volume over the last 24 hours, things naturally will get quieter when there's a lot of movement in Bitcoin and whatnot. So I think that despite the recency bias you may see here, when people are talking about trends, I think if you zoom out a little bit, you'll see that we are actually quite healthy and things are okay. From a set perspective, you can see that things are relatively flat. Base Series 1 slightly down, Series 2 up a bit. They're more affordable. There's probably more action in that relative to trying to accumulate collector score points. That's probably a big driver in that. And there's this slight uptick continuing with the user base. Hopefully we see this make some significant leaps as the marketing machine really turns on with NBA Top Shot and the league running right now. Maybe there'll be some TV. Certainly we know that Kevin Durant is involved now with his boardroom, so we'll see some curated sets and things of that nature where they're highlighting and pushing people to the platform. So I want to see this really leg up. That's the metric I'm most interested in seeing to really give me a gauge on what the health of NBA Top Shot is and whether or not they can maximize their potential. Now, granted, they're probably on a different timeline than what I would like to see or what my expectations are, given that they're trying to make sure they have the infrastructure and everything else straight. So the whale vault itself, we are currently just under $36 million. That is pretty consistent with what we had seen for this particular website and tracking. I think it's a slight dip. We were just over 36 when we last took a look at it, but obviously that's quite steady. If we look at evaluate market, which also will give us some metrics, that's down a bit more based on the methodology that they use, but still above $40 million, right? So it was 43.5 when we looked at it last week, and that was after staying steady for about a month straight. And now, we finally saw a dip, but as you know, some of those assets are not the most liquid given the very limited quantity and unique nature of what they are. So still in a good position. And as a reminder, Whale spent maybe between $100,000 and $200,000 in total for what we have for a portfolio here, and being in excess of 40 million is a great position to still be in. I always take a look at these moments. As you guys know, this Jokic, which I passed on when it was about $50, that's actually been sliding a little bit, right? So this is a Series 1. It slid down from, I think, a peak of around $150. It was $126 last week. It's $106 this week. So, something to keep an eye on. But we just talked about Series 1 having a slight dip versus Series 2 kind of having an increase. And if I look here at this Ty Halliburton, which is a Series 2, but it's a debut along with a 3-badge rookie, that's actually retained its value very well, right? So we were looking at something in the $370 range for over a month now. It continues to be there. So kind of a mixed bag, which may mean opportunistically, if there's some Series 1 commons, it might be the time to go in and take a look at them and scoop, right? Unless you anticipate the market falling further. And that very well could happen, but some deals might be had out there if you're looking at Series 1 commons and some other cards of that nature. So what happened over the past week? As you guys know, we talked about last week, this Dwayne Wade Vintage Vibes fandom moment is still up for pre-order. You can pre-order it, I think, through the end of this week, right? Through the 27th, right? So you got actually a couple more days if you want to get in on that. I'm not even sure if I want to do that just because the mint size is so massive on this, right? There's going to be 500,000 total. But, it's likely going to be used for some gamification and some other things. So it might be something that, I might take a flyer on just to have that. Other big news of this past week, they announced a legendary WNBA set in her bag. There'll be 18 of the best WNBA moments of the past season, a 125 mint. I think it includes 1 legendary, 2 rare run-it-backs that are 879 mints, and then 4 common best of seasons. So these are $600, $599. These are on sale tomorrow. To qualify for this, you need a collector score of 3,500 just to get into general, or 12,500 to get into the priority queue. So that's a substantial collector score you need. That being said, if you have WNBA moments, there is a 10x multiplier 10x multiplier for any WNBA moments that you have. So obviously right now in the marketplace, these are going to be going for a premium relative to what they were prior. And it might be something, you want to qualify for opportunistically. I think I saw an interesting take on this by a Twitter user here. Said, look, if you think the $600 price tag is a lot, here's a quick gut check. If the floor of the WNBA legendary moment gets below 400, then those moments become the most cost-effective way to build your collector score on the entire TopShot platform. So, the collector score, like we're talking about, to qualify for this, the legendaries have a significant weight. And if you were able to get this for that value, it'd be hard to find that value elsewhere. Doesn't sell me quite on the value proposition. It doesn't make me line up to want to get involved, but an interesting take from another user on why this might be of interest to some people. Another thing announced this week is the NBA Vintage Vibes Showcase Challenge 2, aka Klay Thompson, finally on NBA Top Shot. So there's a challenge to get a Klay Thompson moment. Finally, it'll have his debut Top Shot badge. You have to have 10 debut moments to qualify for this showcase challenge, but there's a lot of different qualifiers you need to have. So it breaks it down here. It's not just any 10 debuts. You need 2 that are Series 1, 2 that are shooting guards, 2 that are jump shots, 2 that are WNBA moments, and 2 that are Golden State Warriors. So it's a lot to have to qualify for if you don't have a breadth to your collection. But if you do, you have until Friday on the 29th at 1 p.m. Eastern to complete this challenge and get this Klay Thompson debut fandom moment. I find this interesting that this is going to be the Vintage Vibes fandom moment, and Vintage Vibes seems to be, especially with the fandom moment, a way to get kind of a different tiering out there that's not really focused on the value. It's more participatory, like, hey, here's a cool moment that people can get and feel good about it, right? Just like the Dwayne Wade moment at a 500,000 mint. But by the same token, it's going to have the debut badge on it. So it's kind of like these 2 different forces pulling on it. I'll be very interested to see what's the how many of these actually get qualified for and get into circulation, and what the value will be. Because like I said, there's those 2 factors that'll be pulling on this. This will be a good learning from this going forward. And then also in big news, they announced a roadmap for Series 3. So a lot of detail in here, but a lot of people excited about what it entails. So if we take a look and you read through it, essentially, there's going to be a much higher circ to the base moments. So a lot more supply out there. I think it's 60,000 per moment. Some of the cooler details in here are there are new sets that sound like they might be exciting, right? So there'll be some base common kind of variants, like players who change teams, geographic specific sets. I don't know what that means, East Coast or a certain state or whatever it is. There was also a legendary set called Rookie Revelation. I think that's got really the highest interest from the greater Top Shot community, just because of the insane value that could drive if one of these rookies really blow up, or even if they don't, just a legendary rookie. It'll have debuts, badges, and whatnot. That should be pretty big. But a lot of the standard stuff's in there as well. So there's kind of a mixed feeling on this from the greater community, because it's expanding the number of sets so much, and then also the supply is increasing that much. But they're doing this knowing the concerns of the community. So they obviously anticipate that the user base will grow to such a point where this will still be palatable. Right, so 60K circ is going to be okay. It's going to make what we have for Series 2 look limited, right? So we'll see if their growth projections can keep up with their game planning here from their economy, projections and what exactly it does. 2 other things I wanted to make mention of. So there was a actual stress test for the trade ticket systems. This was phase 2. I believe it lets you trade in a bunch, like 10 at once. Not a lot of excitement there. People got their packs back and didn't find much in it. And the other thing is, I believe there is another archive set dropping soon. In this blog, they talk about possibly dropping it before the end of the month. So that being the case, I may have my opportunity to scoop one. I didn't. As you guys know, I was on Plymouth Rock, of all places, after they rescheduled the drop from the other week. So maybe I'll be able to snag one of those, but that's the only other thing that I know for sure that is coming prior to some of these other initiatives. So beyond TopShot, I did want to make mention, we had some interest in our community about Eternal. So Eternal is essentially on the Flow platform. It's almost like, NBA TopShot was white labeled and applied to Twitch streaming moments and historic things that can happen on stream with gaming. We were able to get the team from Eternal to sit down with us, actually the founder, have a great discussion on the nuance of the platform, what it does differently than TopShot, what are some cool things that it can do already, and that their vision for the future is, for example, they have this burn mechanism where you can get signatures from the creators right on it. Really cool stuff. If you didn't have a chance to check it out, go on to the Whale Twitch page and look through the archive real quick. It's about, I want to say, 6 or 8 videos back. Very cool stream, a lot of insight into what this does and some of the cool ways that we can participate and find value in it. So their market cap is super low. This is the equivalent of jumping into NBA TopShot like in the summer 2020, right? So if you get involved in this, you're early yet. This has explosive growth potential. So I'm glad we were able to get them to sit down with the community and answer some of our questions for us. The other thing that I wanted to make mention of is I did notify you guys that the burn was up for the Space Jam NFTs that we claimed when we saw they were free minting at one point. I actually burned 3. I got this just a common brow here, and unfortunately it's not worth that much, but I do know a lot of you folks in the community have extremely good luck when it comes to these things. So as you can see, they do have some monetary value. My really simplistic common, actually this is a base level rare Daffy Duck, is worth $9. If you guys can score some higher tier stuff, it could be a couple hundred and whatnot. So that may be an opportunity for you if the minting is still open. And if you have stuff that you don't want to burn, that's fine, right? So you can just hold on to if you prefer your Toon Squad. I thought this was pretty cool. I know we talked about the Jordan card that set records the other week. So this is a Michael Jordan game-worn sneaker that sold for $1.47 million in a Sotheby's auction, actually, in one of their modern art and streetwear wings here in Vegas in the United States. But these were the Nike Air ships. So, there's like a legend that these were given to Mike to wear before his Air Jordans were completed. They were still being made, and the NBA kind of complained to him and said they were too bright and violated the uniform protocol. So these sold for a record amount. I think the game was kind of insignificant. It was against the Nuggets or something. He put up like 17 or double-double or something. But this was a new record sale for game-worn sneakers. The previous record was also a pair of Jordans where he shattered a backboard or broke a backboard, and it was about $600K. So more than doubled it, setting records, continuing to show the blood and interest, the lifeblood and the interest in the collectibles market beyond NFTs, and that continues to be explosive, which bodes well for what we do with sports related collectibles and NFTs also. If you're curious, the number 1 piece of footwear ever sold at auction was Yeezy prototypes that Kanye West actually wore to the 2008 Grammys. Those went for $1.8 million. So interesting stuff there with these Jordan sneakers. I did want to talk about my man Tom Brady setting records, throwing for his 600th touchdown. You probably had seen in the news, but Mike Evans went and gave it to a fan, right? So he throws for this record-setting touchdown. No other quarterback has ever done it. Mike Evans hands it to a fan. So the team actually get this, the team approached the fan and asked if he would give it back, and the fan didn't want to do it. He was quite reluctant and hesitant, and they talked him into it, saying how much it meant to Brady, etc. So they gave this person, some team memorabilia, I think a jersey, some autographs, merch, things of that nature, worth $1,000 for a gesture for his goodwill. Analysts have come out and said that this will be worth $500,000 to $1 million when it goes to auction. $500,000 to $1 million when it goes to auction, and they gave him an autographed jersey. This guy has to be absolutely livid. And so, was that fair? Hopefully, the team does something to make it right. Knowing Brady and some of the stuff he's done locally here, I would expect that he probably reaches out to this fan and does a little bit more. But that is crazy. I don't, I'm a Brady super fan. I'm a little salty after he left New England, but even I would have a hard time giving that up without feeling like I had just compensation, especially when it's given to me. It's not like the guy, scrambled and took it from a little girl or something. It was literally handed to him from Mike Evans. So we will see what happens with that. Hopefully they do the right thing. In other news, I know Lady Warboss was talking about it in our chat. So Candy Digital actually dropped their MLB icons today for early adopters. If you were on the the early adopter program and you were already able to snag these, they're actually ripping open some of these packs. So I don't know if you guys have an opportunity to snag some of your own and get them, but this is a partnership with the person that leads Fanatics, Mike Novogratz from Galaxy Digital, Gary V. They're kind of all in on this. So a lot of minds that are good relative to collectibles and obviously fandom. They launched over the summer with some MLB themed special NFTs. They had a Lou Gehrig, so obviously, right, they can go right for the archives and really pull at the heartstrings right away. It's not like here at NBA TopShot where we've been waiting a long time for some of these legendary players. So very interested to see how this will develop and what will come of it. I don't know how many of you guys beyond Lady Warboss have gotten involved and were able to snag some, but the public sale is tomorrow. So, you guys can read a little bit more about it. There's a variety of rarities here, right? There's legendaries, epics, rares, and commons. Each one changes the look and the functionality of what the NFT actually does. And likewise, these are going to be $50 per pack. So each pack contains, I think, 3 icons. Yep, 3 icons here. So again, this opens up to the public tomorrow, $50 each. Likely sell very quickly given the success that they've had already with media. So I anticipate there's a lot of eyeballs on this. Just before I forget, I see in the chat that Rad says he can still rip his pack tonight if we want to bring him on. Rads, I know you're sick. You still came through with the prop bets, and now you want to rip packs. You are an absolute trooper, my man. If you want to come on, we'll have you. I'll send you the link at the end of what we have here on the agenda, and you could hop on and rip if you'd like. Other thing I did want to make mention, I know there's a lot of Rob Levy fans. The Dizzy Demons were delayed late last night. There was an issue with the contract. They wanted to make sure that they optimize it and get everything running smoothly for the drop. So that was delayed and pushed. They're actually having a Twitter Spaces. No, they're having a stage tonight on their Discord where they'll be talking about the minting process as well as some surprises, I'm sure, as they always do. So if you're not privy to what's going on there, the Dizzy Demons is the evolution of what they had done with Dizzy Dragons, which is an amazing community that they put together, and obviously an artist that we hold near and dear to our heart here at Whale. If you have a fused Dizzy Demon because you participated, you have a free mint for this soul fragment that will evolve into a demon on Halloween night. If you don't have a fused Dizzy Dragon because you never did it, what you can do if you just have one of the originals is you can actually get a discounted mint cost, right? So you'll be able to mint up until a certain point for half of what the general public will have to pay to mint. So it'll be 0.4 plus gas. And then this pre-sale will last until 10/28. And then the public sale will open. So anyone can go ahead and grab. Now, I don't know this for sure, But looking at this, you can see that there is a number of tiers to these demons. And also on the Discord, you're able to kind of sign up for which specific side you would support. Of course, I immediately picked evil and went demon, which was noticed by people in the community. So yeah, being consistent with my alignment. But it makes you think there may be some further gamification, right? I know they're setting up the Dizzy Den in a metaverse environment so people can go and do some different things. Obviously, being pixels, it lends itself quite well to games and gamification of it. So I'll be very interested to see how this evolves. Either way, it's fun. It's cool. You didn't miss anything. We'll get more details tonight on when the actual mint will happen. And then Mongoose or Mongoose typically mentioning that my Huckwords Nightmare is showing up on the Heroes Mootopia archive there on OpenSea. That is correct, though I'm sure that I think that people cannot purchase the heroes, right? Those are a limited collection. So although it says heroes, don't be deceived on what my alignment is. If you get into a game with me, I'm coming to rain chaos, which, by the way, I did notice, Mongoose, that you went and scooped some of the minions. So I will be joining you as well and grabbing some of those so I can rain chaos in any game that I possibly enter in Mootopia. Did also want to mention, we touched on this in the TopShot room on our Discord, but despite not landing the pack for the Run It Back the other day, Whale Shark was able to just get a common playoff pack from the Showcase Challenge. So we do have a playoff pack. We'll think of some basic gamification for that. Probably something on Twitter where you'll have to hashtag tweet. Roll holders will be entered into a drawing, and you'll be able to score the pack. And maybe we will open it up on Whale Hour if time presents itself. If not this one, then the next one. So it did pay dividends to go through it. Hopefully next time when we do the next one, we'll be able to score something of more significant value. And when it comes to our fantasy football, first of all, props to the people that won the prop contest over the past week. Ninja Turtles on Monday, 1 Cent Collector on Thursday, and Feria actually coming through last night. If you don't have your submissions in for tonight's game, here is your reminder. Don't be like me and consistently forget to do it, or always remember 5 minutes into the game, which I've been doing with both my prop bets and my weekly pick'em because everything had been going on. That being said, look at the standings here for the pick'em for the week. It is an absolute logjam for second place, but Kokomo and Rare Air up there with a 10-point lead on everyone. So no one running away with it, but nice to see someone new on the leaderboard. Maybe we will have a new first place winner, and a lot of the people that consistently have tied up MJS somewhere and taken his information after his consecutive wins, posting up in second place. There he is. MJS is there as well. So maybe he has a team, a conglomerate here. One thing I would love to point out here is we don't see Rads, but we do see Trads. So props to Trads for surpassing his dad in this week's contest. Hopefully he places and can rub it in the household over the next week. And with that, I've just been corrected. Trads is actually T-Rads. All right. Why don't we get Rads on stream so he could rip his pack with us and tell us what the exact pronunciation is? Hold on 1 minute, Rads. I'll get the link for you. Now, we don't know what Rads is going to sound like. Evidently, he's fighting off the plague. But hopefully it's jubilation and excitement when he gets an awesome, awesome moment from this poll.
All right, I can hear audio in here.
Rads, can you hear me?
Yep, can you hear me?
I can. So it's T-Rads, you're telling me?
Yeah, Tyler's his first name, so T-Rads, and Radkey's our last name, so that's why we did Rads.
Well, I didn't see the dash, so
Ah,
I assumed, but I assumed wrong. So
you're
let's get your
right. It does look trads, but it's T-rads is how I do it. All
okay.
right, let me share. Let's see. Uh,
So is this from too much tailgating or too much football celebration? What's going on here with you?
I don't know. Yesterday. I felt pretty terrible. It's just my ear is hurting. So I think my ear's infected and just had so much congestion the last couple of days. So it's been
Uh,
been pretty rough. Yeah.
you're
All
up
right.
late degenning and not getting your recovery, it sounds like.
That's right. Where is my? Oh, here we go. Sorry, I was on the wrong thing. Okay. Can you see my tab now? Is
We
it
can. Let
showing?
me drop our icons out. All right, it's your show. Now hold on, one second here. I feel like the sound is a big part of this. Did you share your window or your screen?
I shared the window. Do you need me to share the screen?
No, that's fine. But just so you know, we won't hear the sound.
Okay. Well, I can do that. I can switch it to the screen if you want me to. If you want to hear the sound.
That's
Let's.
up that's up to
Yeah.
you. I mean, the
Yeah.
sound of your sniffle is good too.
Oh yeah. Thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah. It was worse earlier. It's getting a little bit better, but it's been a rough day. All right. Let's just do the entire screen.
And when you do that on the bottom left-hand side, there was a checkbox for include audio. Did you click that?
Oh, let's see. I didn't see that, so let me do that again. Sorry, everybody that's waiting. There we go. Okay. Yep, got it there. All right, so it should have audio now. And is it showing
It is.
the TopShot? Okay. So I haven't ripped a pack, you can see, in forever. So this is going to be
Wow.
a good feeling to rip, especially with it being a rare, because
So is
this
this
was.
because you're trying to hold them off to sell them when that's a possibility in the marketplace?
I think so, yeah, because you've seen some of the old school people that have had like the cosmic packs and that gosh, they could sell them for a lot. So instead of opening them and it's like playing the lotto, I'll just hodl them until they're going to be worth something else. So something good.
Yeah, I actually know someone that's over the past year they were hustling Pokemon sets that they had bought, and so they had a bunch that they had collected in their youth and just never opened,
Oh,
and they were going for big money, and so then they were taking that and buying more unopened sets and boxes, and they really parlayed that into a significant sum. So I can only imagine the possibilities here when that opens up as well.
wow, those Pokemon. Gosh, I wish I would have collected those, but didn't get into those back what 15 years ago. Is that when they started?
No, I think they're like early 90s.
Was okay.
Yeah, but that being said, I mean, if I was scooping those things when I was young, it was because I was into it and wanted to play. It wasn't really like I was stashing a second one to the side to collect. I mean, I would just beg my mom to buy me, a one pack of Garbage Pail Kids. I wasn't going to throw it in my drawer.
That is true. I would have ripped them all. And here's a quick funny story before I rip this is we had a toy box growing up, my brother and I, and we had cards sitting in there and that Jordan Fleer rookie, that's worth so much. We had one of those just laying in the bottom of that for the longest time. And we still have it, but my brother has it, but it's in, just such rough condition. But the fact
Right.
that card we just had, it was just in the toy box with the other toys. And think what that is now.
Yeah, I've mentioned a couple times on stream that I have a shoebox in my basement of like what's left of my collectibles because I used to be into buying and throwing them in sleeves and trading them, but it was more because like I felt like I was cool hustling at a market or something with my friends. But all my friends are a little bit older in my neighborhood, so I'm sure they fleeced me. Right? I'm sure I'm stuck with like horrible things. I don't think there's anything of significance in there, but maybe something fun to take a look at. So I've rambled enough. Let's rip some packs.
All right, let's do this.
Well,
So
yeah, I don't want to speak for you. I said plural. Let's rip a pack.
rip A. Yeah. All right, come on. Let's get something good here. All right. Is the sound coming through?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Which one should we go? Where's the red? Where's the red? We'll do bottom left to start because these have archives. Yeah. There it is.
Man, I forgot about Al Harrington.
Yeah. He was a one and done. College, wasn't he? Did he go to Georgetown?
I don't remember. It's a nice pull.
Yeah. Overall, not great. I was hoping for a LeBron or a KD.
Here's a big one, so here we go.
Here's the big one. Come on. Ugh. Rough pack there. $6.97. All right. Well, there we go. It was not a very good pack, but still got to rip it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing it with us. Can you mute the music now? All right, thank you. Yeah,
oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot it's still going on because I can't hear it right now because it's going.
Okay.
I don't have the stream up, so I don't have the echo.
Yeah. No, that was cool. Thanks for sharing with us. It's funny because you started like circling around. And it was like it was decent pulls. So I thought they were setting you up for something big, but you know what? They're saving that for the higher tier pack that you get next time, the legendary.
Yeah, let's go. Hopefully something better. That Danny Granger could have been worse.
Right. What would you say? I don't know if you took a look at the moments. What would you say would be the worst like reaction you would have? Like, what was the worst that was possible there?
Oh, who was it? I can't remember who was all in there. I know there's a couple duds in there.
Okay.
I think Danny Granger was near the bottom of the list.
Right. Well, maybe it's good that you got that one out of the way and didn't save it for a couple years to rip it, right?
That's right.
So
it's your fault because I should have opened it last weekend when I had all that luck going on my side.
You know what? I think the luck worked out for you. You ended up getting some other things that alternatively may work out even better. I think so.
That is true.
I think you got stuff with a lot of upside. I definitely need to talk to you. See if some of it. You know what? Now you talk to me, maybe some of it's going to rub off on some of these mints that are coming up. I got some stuff I'm trying to scoop. I've just been waiting for the gas to cooperate, including some of these minions, so I can evidently have a battle or a cooperation here with Mongoose in the Mootopia RPG. But Raz, I know you got other stuff to do and you got some recovery. So thank you so much for joining us, ripping those packs, and thank you for coming through with the prop bets. We appreciate all the work that you and the committee do for sure.
Absolutely, it's been so much fun. Thanks and good luck, everybody.
All right, have a good week, everyone.
All right, see y'all.